Things are not getting better. Things go from bad to worse. What's worse? There's no indication why she got sick. Her daughter was worried sick, but when it was a mystery no one could help and they got to work while she was resting on the couch, it was hard for her to stand up for long. However, there was a great commotion and they went straight back into the room to tell her what they had found. Kathy Wilson, Xiao, has lived in Shelbyville her entire life and always tried to do what was best for her daughter. She believed she was not unfit. However, things changed quickly. More than a decade ago, Kathy's mysterious illness began without any warning and never got better. It's getting worse. She just thought it was stressful, but her daughter wanted her to seek the help she needed. Kathy's family, especially her daughter, is tired of hearing her ignore her symptoms. Her illness started with just a cough, but these days she feels muscle pain and constant fatigue. As a result, Kathy's daughter was sick to her stomach. Yet Kathy was reluctant to do the one thing her daughter wanted: to see a professional for help. Before going to the doctor, Kathy tried taking over-the-counter tablets and vitamins B, C, zinc, iron, and E for an upset stomach. Yet even after taking these pills for months, she didn't get any better, and Ashley hated hearing her mother complain about her illness but never went to the doctor. She also hated to see herself suffer. Finally, she persuaded her mother to see a doctor and got a leave slip. But Casey came back from the doctor feeling exactly the same as before. She appreciated the sick leave to rest, but otherwise she didn't feel well at all. However, as the weeks went by, things got worse. This rapid deterioration was unprecedented, and Ashley decided to take matters into his own hands once more. Kathy's appetite soon lost energy, and she even began to lose a lot of weight. Her daughter was more worried than ever and insisted that her mother go to the doctor again, and this time Kathy totally agreed. She admitted that she wouldn't get better on her own. Even the doctor seemed more worried this time. When they arrived at the doctor's office, he couldn't believe Casey's condition. What was initially thought to be just a cold turned out to be something more serious. Besides that, Cassie was a strong, healthy woman in the prime of her life. If it was just the flu, she'd be fine by now. The doctor was very worried that things didn't look good. Kathy's condition deteriorated significantly. The doctor decided to take extra precautions with blood and allergy tests. But the tests gave the strangest result: she was healthy. Despite these symptoms, there was no diagnosis, so doctors decided to try to rule out potential causes one by one. The doctors decided to figure out what was going on, and Casey was put on antibiotics. Okay. After the prescribed course of treatment, the doctors waited to see how Casey's body would react. Right. That's the only way they're going to find out what's wrong with her, and they need to make sure she doesn't get worse. Dr. Hensley will do her best to find out what's wrong with her patients and fix the root problem. Yet the situation will only worsen. Kathy's condition continued to deteriorate as usual. She now felt pain and exhaustion all over her body. Then her mental health began to deteriorate. Everyone around her is very concerned about her health. Maybe it's just a state of mind? Kathy couldn't believe it. Her body knew something was wrong, but no one had answers. Ashley went to the doctor twice with her mother without any definitive results. She found it increasingly difficult. She didn't want her mother to get worse for a third time. Is there something wrong with her? Ashley had witnessed her mother's decline firsthand and had a strong gut feeling that something was wrong, and in an effort to figure out her condition, Kathy began researching her symptoms online. She chatted with experts online and tried herbal remedies and natural remedies, but nothing seemed to work. As time went by, more and more people lost faith in her, and she felt more and more isolated. She had never felt so alone before. Could she have imagined all this? Over the next years, Kathy saw her doctor, Dr. Hensley, regularly, and he cared for her in the best way possible. Dr. Hensley went to great lengths to diagnose Kathy and insisted on giving her heart tests and chest x-rays, MRI of the brain and spine. Yet despite all the tests that appeared to show nothing unusual, Dr. Hensley admitted he could not find a solution. However, Kathy's flu-like symptoms persisted, and she became increasingly weak and tired. Years of living with a mysterious illness took a toll on Kathy's mental health. It affected her relationships, her work, and most importantly, her quality of life. After 10 years of experiencing these symptoms, she decided that since no one else could help her, she would help herself. She's planning a complete makeover in the bathroom. He put the contractor to work, but shortly after they started, they made a shocking discovery, and Casey frowned when the contractor asked when the water heater would be installed. Kathy remembers fixing it before she got sick, probably when Ashley was a little girl. He thought for a moment and replied, "Maybe 10 years ago." The contractor was dismayed to discover that the boiler and water heater had been installed incorrectly. Over time, traces of carbon monoxide entered the house. Isn't carbon monoxide toxic? Carbon monoxide is colorless, odorless, and a silent killer. When the body comes into contact with the gas, it displaces oxygen in the blood and causes severe damage to the heart, brain, and vital organs. Finally, it's all starting to make sense. Does that explain Casey's strange symptoms? Even low levels of carbon monoxide exposure can cause chest pain, fatigue, nausea, headaches, and dizziness. Prolonged exposure can cause serious consequences, including vomiting, muscle weakness, fainting, and disorientation, and in some cases carbon monoxide poisoning can even be fatal. Why is Cassie always misdiagnosed? After years of turning to experts and specialists for answers, Casey had lost hope, but now Casey's symptoms for decades suddenly made sense. The most unexpected guest finally answered him. "I'm shocked," she exclaimed, that for a long time Kathy had been suffering from an unexplained illness and that she had the physical condition of an old woman. But how could he thank them? "It's been getting worse over the years," Ashley explained of her delight when she learned there was finally evidence of her mother's illness. Now Kathy can live a normal life again, and Ashley is looking forward to her mother's recovery and active lifestyle. Ashley cried tears of joy because she knew her mother could finally get her life back on track, and after years of sleeping in bed, they could now enjoy what they had missed, like grocery shopping or going out to dinner. But will he ever forgive the doctor for years of neglect? Casey hasn't been this good in years, and he's got more from a contractor than a new bathroom. He got his life back. She is passionate about healing the body, mind, and spirit. "I feel good," he says. "I don't know how long I haven't been this happy." After almost giving up hope of recovery, Kathy couldn't believe her health was really improving. Yet the journey is not over. The truth is that all of Cassie's pain and suffering was due to neglect. Anyone who installed the wrong water heater was almost unharmed, a disturbing finding even though Casey was on the verge of recovering from years of poisoning. But there is still a volatile element to the story. Kathy couldn't help but wish she had looked more deeply into the diagnosis. For 10 years she was labeled a psychotic, delusional, and hypochondriac. Because all the tests came back negative, she was prescribed bed rest, exercise, and medication, but nothing helped and no one could give her the answers she was desperately seeking. But Kathy knew she was right to trust her instincts. Although it took her long years to find out, she is grateful that the truth has finally come out. Despite the harmful effects of inhaling carbon monoxide on her body for more than a decade and her voice still cracking, Kathy's strength is slowly regaining. Now that your water heater leak problem has been solved, so fatigue, nausea, chest pains, and headaches will all be a thing of the past. Although a defective tank and carbon monoxide took years of her life, but Casey can finally look forward to a better future. Kathy knew she would never forget what had happened to her. She wants to make sure that everything she learns about her disease can help others who may be suffering like her, and she urges doctors to be aware of these symptoms in other patients and hopes they'll spread the word. Learning from her experience, but Casey didn't have time to sit back and regret it. She preferred to look forward to the many happy years she could now enjoy with her daughter. Yet she wants people to know what she's going through so they don't make the same mistakes. Cassie is looking forward to her new energy and new life. She hopes her story will raise awareness about the dangers of carbon monoxide, and she knows she's not alone. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, between Daqing and Yangwu, people have been treated in hospitals for carbon monoxide poisoning. However, in some cases symptoms can be misdiagnosed with dire consequences. More than 7 people die each year from the silent killer, and flu is the #1 misdiagnosis of carbon monoxide poisoning. So what can we do? Any expert will tell you that no home should be without a carbon monoxide detector. However, it's important to keep them near your bedroom and place them feet off the ground so that carbon monoxide detectors can alert you to this silent threat before it hurts you and your loved ones. But how can carbon monoxide poisoning be detected and treated? Symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning include headache, dizziness, shortness of breath, nausea, weakness, and confusion. If someone suspects carbon monoxide poisoning, they should go out and get fresh air immediately, and go straight to the nearest hospital for emergency treatment. The doctor will test a blood sample to confirm the diagnosis and begin treatment immediately. In the emergency room, patients will receive pure oxygen through a mask worn over their nose and mouth. Oxygen fills organs and tissues with oxygen-rich blood. In some cases, patients may need hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which involves spending time in a pressurized oxygen chamber to speed up the replacement of carbon monoxide with oxygen in the blood.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our videos. If you like our content, please don't forget to subscribe and like. It will support us to continue to create more great content.